Today we will be working on the '02 Chevy Avalanche. And today I'm going to be replacing the driver's side wheel bearing and CV axle. I'm going to start off by loosening this axle nut in the middle, 36 millimeter, and then the lug nuts, I think they're 22 millimeter. So I got everything loose. I'm going to remove the lug nuts, and I'm going to give this a couple hits with a hammer to make sure it pushes in. So I got the wheel off. I tapped on the axle, make sure it moves in and out freely, so you don't have to struggle with getting it removed. I'm gonna turn the wheel to make it easier for me to the right, so I can get the brakes and rotors off. Okay, next what I'm gonna do, since I have a dual piston for this brake caliper, I'm gonna squeeze it in with the C-clamp. Squeeze this in, then I'm gonna move it down here, squeeze that in, and I'm gonna keep the brakes and rotors on. Not the brakes and rotors, the brakes and the caliper all together as one, and just remove that one bolt there, which is an 18 millimeter, and then one more down there. Nope, that's the wrong one. That big one, 18. So what I did was remove the two bolts that holds the caliper bracket on, and I could take this whole unit off with everything still attached. Now this shit is heavy, so I gotta find somewhere to put it. Next, you just pull your rotor off. In some cases, you may have to hammer it. And if you have to hammer it, hammer around here. Because if you hit this, you will start denting it and gouging it. Then you're going to need a new rotor. Mine is free. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on that ugly looking bolt there, one there, and then if you come to the other side, one down there. Take them 3 bolts out. So what I did was put a 15 millimeter on there with my breaker bar, and I used a hammer. It has so much rust on there. I had my extension on, and I hammered the extension on to make sure everything went on flush. Then I put the breaker bar on, held it here with my other hand, holding the hammer. I hammered down on the breaker bar to loosen it. It did break loose, but you see there, it's spinning, but it's got a lot of rust, so you might have to take it off, put it on, and loosen it more and go back and forth to break all that rust up. But let me get the other 2 off. Alright, so I got 2 of them out, and 2 long ones there. This top one I'm having a problem with. It's not really of a problem, but I gotten it all the way out, but it's hitting the bolt that holds the upper ball joint in and the CV axle. So one of 2 things can happen. You can loosen the ball joint, knock it upward to give you more access to clear this bolt, or in my case, since the CV axle is getting replaced anyways, I'll just push this back in, and behind this rubber boot, all the bolts on the outside perimeter has to come out. I think it's 6 of them. 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, and then 2 on the other side. Take them out. I have to probably tap it with a hammer. It's probably the original CV axle since '02. I gotta change a lot of shit under here, but this is all I'm changing now. Damn outer and inner tie rod, pitman irons. Look at all that. But this is just to get me going. But before I do that, I've already started. Follow the wire up and disconnect it. That's the ABS sensor. And then just pull it out the rest of the way out of them looms. Got a couple zip ties on. These ones here pry up with the screwdriver, and that'll open up. You can take that line out until I come back, because I gotta take those bolts out. Okay, just to show you what I got going on, I put my hammer, I wedged it in between 2 studs so that I can break that bolt loose, because without the hammer being here, damn, I hit my fucking finger. Damn, that bitch hurt it. Fuck. Without the hammer being there, this whole axle spin. So the good thing is that spin, and I could just turn it, line up the next bolt, put my hammer back in place, right in between there, and so forth. Loosen the next one, go all the way around. So let me get all them bolts out. Okay, I got 3 of them off. But what I failed to tell y'all is, I start off with my breaker bar, a socket, and an extension for more leverage. I break it loose with this. Then I have to take the socket off and put it on my ratchet to ratchet it off the rest of the way. And I gotta do that 3 more times. Where are we? You can see 2 of them at the top. So I gotta remove my hammer. This bitch gets stuck, so let's reverse it. Let me get this hammer out and get to the next bolt. So I got all the bolts out. They're all out. The only thing left to do is tap on this axle and take out this axle nut. With some cussing and swearing, I should be able to squeeze it through that shock and this bullshit ass sway bar link I need to replace. But I should be able to get it out without taking the sway bar link out or this bullshit ass shock. Got all originals on here, but we'll get it together. I got the back half off. Hit it with the hammer right around here. Rotated it. Hit it some more, rotated some more, hit it. And then I just grabbed it and pulled it towards myself. And it came out freely. A lot easier than I thought. Just gotta take this nut off. There's a washer in there too. And hopefully we can manangle this shit to squeeze through. I ain't gonna be able to show y'all because I need 2 hands, but I know this what y'all really want to see, so y'all can hear me bust my fucking fingers up and hear me do all this cussing. But I'll bring y'all back when I get it out. Okay, before I go too far, I just wanted to show y'all I got most of it out. And as you see, that gave me plenty of room to remove my bolt for that last wheel bearing. Now this upper diameter here is what's getting caught. So just trying to see what I can work with. I see it's pinched up here. I don't know. Look like we're gonna be taking something out, because I ain't trying to be under here all day. I'm not trying to be under here all day. Just trying to think if I should just take the sway bar link out. I gotta replace it anyway. I need to replace the shock too, but or if I can jack the truck up some. If I jack it up, would that drop the suspension down? So this part will be up higher, and that gap looks to be a little bit wider up top and between there. So let me figure out something and I'll get back to y'all. Well, I can't get it out so far, but while I continue thinking on about what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just remove this ABS sensor, get that all unplugged, and let that hang freely, and knock this hub bearing out. Alright, so now I got that sensor off. I can just hammer the shit out of this bitch. Camera might be shaking and it might be a little loud, but I'm gonna show y'all what I mean by hammer. If I can hit it and hold the camera. Damn, I'm hitting everything but the damn bearing. I'm hitting the truck. Yeah, I can't do it with one hand. I gotta go get the big guns. I had to call in reinforcements and see what he do. Yep, I got her out. Took some beating. A lot. I'm tired as hell. But now, still gotta figure out how I'm gonna get this bitch out. So, I'm gonna see if I can push this in, move it up, down, left, right, something. If not, and I think, damn, I'm tired. I think I might take the shock out, because if I take this sway bar link out, I already know it's gonna break. Needs replacing, but it's in there. So, let's see what we can do. Alright, so what I did was, I moved the jack from being on this side of the truck to right under the control arm, jacked it up, I pushed and turned until one side went in. Once that side went in, I noticed this was bent in that way. So I turned the wheel all the way to the right. Come on, give me some light. And I just wiggled it, that popped out. So I should be able, with this skinny part, pull it back in, lift up, and take it out. And look, I still have my sway bar link and shock still there. So if that come out, I'm gonna keep it in the same exact position and put the new one in. So let me see. Okay. With a lot of fucking cussing, busting your knuckles, it do come out. You get a lot of wiggling. What you want to do is, you're gonna have to jack the control arm up pretty high. Hope y'all can see that. This motherfucker keep calling me. Get it up pretty high. Turn the axle to the driver door, which meaning that pole, turn it that way. And the big part, you want to get started on this side. It's going to come through so much, and then it's going to bottom out on the sway bar link. Then what you want to do is turn your wheel straight, because if you turn the spindle, the knuckle, all the way that way, the top of this is going to get wedged behind this side, on the back side. It's going to get stuck. So if you turn it straight, it allow you to bend it towards me. Now once you got it started, wiggle back and forth and push. So as you see, my sway bar link is shot, which needs to be replaced anyways. I just don't have the funds. The hub bearing is out, so now I'm gonna keep it in that exact order, feed it through. I'm probably gonna have to force it in a little bit, but it came out. So let me get this CV axle in and go on from there. So here we have the old and the new. So we're gonna try to put this bitch back in. And I can't show y'all. This should take two hands, and I don't have my tripod to hold the phone up. I just gotta wing it. Get it in when I get it in. For y'all, it's gonna be quick. For me, it's probably gonna take about a half hour. So let me get this back in. Okay, as always, I knew it was too good to be true, because this shit went in like butter. Fucking wrong part. Now I gotta take this bitch back to the store and get the right one. So I have to take the old one so we can line it up, so this problem won't happen again. Alright guys, so it's 6:45 in the morning. It's actually the next day. We had a birthday party for our kids yesterday. And I gotta get back on this. I'm just loading all the shit out of my truck. Because I gotta get this done. All this is my own personal vehicle. So need some wheels so we can move around. But the next thing I'm gonna do is, we left off talking about how I had the wrong part. So what I'm gonna do is the axle, and according to them, this is the only one they sell for this truck, and it's the same on both sides. But I think this gold piece gotta come off, because that gold piece sits up higher than everything. As soon as you put it, hold on, and this hub assembly, it sits way out here, but on the other side. So I'm gonna take that out and see if it makes a difference, because I don't think this is the right shit, but it does get a little wider back here. Maybe it'll get held in, but it do come with these instructions, which is different for me, and it specifically say dust seal required for some applications. Remove if your original axle did not have this additional seal, which I'm assuming that's what that is. But this seal look like it's rubber. So if that's what they confirming to being a seal as rubber, then I don't know. But I'm gonna take that out, see if it works. If it works, we're gonna go with it. If it don't, I don't know what we're gonna do. I really don't want to put that old one back in. But before I do any of this axle stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and start mounting, actually cleaning up this section here and mounting the wheel bearing, because that top bolt has to be all the way in order for me to get the axle in. So that bolt got to be seated anyway. So I'm gonna start getting this wheel bearing in. So So here we have the new wheel bearing, and they definitely look the same. Again, at least they look the same. That's the new connector, and that's the old connector. I still got to take this dust seal off and put it to this side. If it start crumpling, then I'm just ain't gonna put it on there, because this shit ain't good anyways. So let me get that transferred. So all I gotta do is pop this up, take it, put it on this side. Notice that opening sits right over top of that sensor, so it can only really go in one way. Alright, I got that dust seal off, transferred to this one, and I cleaned up that area as good as I could. I put some anti-seize on it, and I just did the tips of these bolts. Now I'm gonna put this hub on. This seal or shield should be on this side, facing the front of the front bumper. Let me get that up and get these bolts in. I want to make a quick pointer real quick when tightening down these bolts in the back. These 3 bolts, one way on the other side over here. You don't want to tighten them down all the way. You want to go back and forth, do a little bit at a time. You want to make sure this is seated properly, because if it ain't seated properly, then you probably wear this shit out in like 2-3 days. Also, you may have to turn the wheel back and forth multiple times. I mean, you could keep getting up doing it yourself like I'm doing, or you can get a helper, just sit in the car, turn the wheel for you. Okay guys, so I got the bearing on. I torqued it down according to Google, 133 foot-pounds. Now I'm running the ABS sensor. And a little wire comes up here, and you just push that tab in. Run it under the caliper wire. And there'll be little holes in the control arm. That's where it was zip tied, but it comes with little grommets that just push down in there. So I push that one in there. The next one goes up here, and so forth. I'm gonna cut that out. That way I can stick that in there and then come behind and plug that up there. So next, we could try to get the CV axle in. I'm gonna pop this off and see if that shit work. So let me get that off. Okay, before I just went ahead and took that off and tried putting it in, and look how much has to be pushed forwards. That gold thing is seated all the way up there. I think that do gotta come off. But I ain't wanna just go knocking shit off and it ain't supposed to. But we got more than a ½ inch that has to come forwards. Let me get that gold thing off. So I took that gold thing off. I don't even think it was supposed to be there. I think they put it there for shipping purposes. It can't go back on now. Now I'm gonna try and get it up in there. So yeah, that made a huge difference. And this one, it locks in the back. And this diameter is even a little smaller, so it just slid in like butter. I put some anti-seize on these bolts. Now what's left? Get that up and mount it. So we got all these bolts hand tighted. And I have to tighten them down and torque them to 55 to 60 foot-pounds. So I torqued them bolts down in the back to 60 foot-pounds. The only thing left we got to do is put the rotor on, the brake caliper, torque down that center axle. So I'm gonna get this rotor on. I put anti-seize on those new studs. And I'm gonna get this caliper back on. We only took out the 2 bolts for the caliper bracket, but I gotta put my brakes back in because they fell out. And I could just put that whole assembly up as one. So let me get the brakes in and then get the caliper mounted. Put those 2 bolts back in. So we got everything back together. The 2 bolts for the caliper bracket I torqued down to 77 foot-pounds. The only thing left is to get the wheel on and tighten down that center axle bolt. So I am done. I got the lug nuts torqued down and the axle bolt torqued down. I tightened that down to 155 foot-pounds. That's it. We're done. The rear, front hub bearing and the front CV axle on my trusty rusty 02 Avalanche. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Comment, leave a like, all that good stuff. Now I'm about to change the oil and put some washer fluid in it because we ain't got shit in there, and clean this engine bay out because I don't like this. It's too dusty for me. So I'm out. Y'all have a good one. Okay, and lastly, since I changed the hub bearing in the front, the CV axle, and changed the oil, I gotta reset the oil. So if you don't know how to do that, turn the key to the on position and look at the message center. It should say change engine oil. There it is. Change engine oil. So you pump the gas pedal 3 times. 1, 2, 3. It's resetting itself. Then it went off. So I'm going to turn it off. Turn it back on just to confirm it. Make sure it did reset. It shouldn't say change engine oil. So we didn't do it. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. There it is blinking. So it's resetting. It's back to the battery. Hopefully I can see that. So let's try one more time just to confirm it again because it didn't blink 3 times last time. When it blinks 3 times, that's letting you know that it's resetting. Turn it back on. And the battery. Looks like we all set. I can go ahead and start the truck. The message board is clear. Alright, that is it. This is a 02 Chevy Avalanche. We replaced the front hub bearing, CV axle, and changed the oil.